Okay, advanced reaction patterns. This deals with chemical reactions and stuff like that. So let's talk about some of the processes dealing with chemical reactions. Okay, so precipitation reactions would be like rain, something like that. Just think, process of solid forming from a solution. And then the product of substance formed into a chemical reaction. So if you listen, like it says here, if you've ever listened to the weather report, precipitation describes rain or snow. During these events, water vapor condenses and collects it on a tiny dust or smoke particles. They form other stuff. So chemistry uses the word precipitation also. So think chemistry, science, weather kind of all goes together. Okay, so then solubility rules. Let's look at this. So you'll want to save this for later. It just talks about which ones are soluble in water, meaning that they would dissolve in water. Insoluble would mean that they would have issues with dissolving in water, stuff like that. So this just gives you like a little bit of a chart that tells you what is going on with soluble versus insoluble. So, and again, soluble means that they are able to be dissolved in water, and let's see, insoluble would mean that they can't. So, same thing that's going on. They're impossible to solve or dissolve. Periodic table again. We've used this one plenty of times before. Make sure you bookmark this one. And how they react to chemical reactions. So chemical reactions, new substance is formed. Reactant would be a substance that is present at the beginning of a chemical reaction and is transformed by the reaction. Molecular equations, a chemical equation written with the complete formula of each compound without respect to whether the ions in a compound are disassociated. So just here's a couple examples, what the equation shows and stuff like that. Okay, so we'll go on to the next part. Solubility rules again. We'll make sure you hang on to that page. Net ionic equations. Just gives you a couple examples of equations with ions and what you'd have to do. Complete ionic equation, chemical equation in which disassociated ions are written separately. So net ionic equation, a chemical equation in which dissociated ions are written separately and ions are unchanged by the reaction and the reaction omitted. Okay, oxidation reduction reaction. Oxidation state, positive or negative number that indicates the number of electrons lost by an atom, assuming all bonds are ionic. And then here's some rules for like determining oxidation state. So here's just a couple of rules. You see like the plus or minus for the electrons. Electronegativity would deal with the electric charge, like with the electrons in the atom or the compound. So a measure of an atom's attraction for electrons in a chemical bond. Oxidation state rules, again, here are the rules for it. Okay, now the next part. So then the rules for oxidation, a list of polyatomic ions here. We've done this before. Here's a list of them. It gives you the chemical name and the formula for it. Okay, so oxidation and reduction, it just gives you an example. What is happening? Reduction would mean like you're taking away something or refining something. So they're taking away something on oxidation. So you're losing an electron. The reduction is gaining the electron. So it's a little bit reverse for this, but it still kind of means the same thing. Okay, so let's go to the next part. Now, this, I'll just go over this with you. Iron is more easily oxidized and less easily reduced than copper or lead, okay? Because This suggests that carbon is simply not as strong enough to reduce it. Okay, just wanted to go over that one. So iron, you'll see that it rusts a lot because it's oxidized. It could get more oxygen, and you could see like iron would rust and something like that. Cellular respiration goes along with biology. The process of converting ATP into glucose and stuff like that. So biology, you'll see both of these concepts in biology. So the metabolic process within cells that converts nutrients into ATP. All right, so then now we have a couple other things. Questions, I'll have you do these questions on your own. Okay, same concept here. This is just showing an example. Okay, let's go to the next part. Okay, so then lithium sulfur batteries, different type of batteries. Lithium batteries are different. There's also rechargeable batteries now. But it just kind of talks about the different types of batteries, some advantages and disadvantages about them. You'll want to read this article just to learn a little bit more about batteries and a couple of the things that they do. Hopefully that clears it up a little bit for you.